Happiness is beautiful, it's a kind reality. Happiness is the highest good, happiness is free. So let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy.
Welcome to the Happiness Show. This is George Ortega. I'm here with Lionel Ketchen, and we're here to talk about happiness because happiness is, always has been, and always will be the point of it all. Today's topic is Happy House, a reality television idea. And this should be a cool show. Basically, we're going to present the idea that on television, like in addition to these other reality shows that we have, like the Fear Factor and all that stuff, there should be a program where for 3 months, a group of, let's say, 12 people get together, live in a house, and have a contest to see who among them can become the happiest. Now, naturally, the person, they'll be measured in terms of their happiness before, then they get measured in terms of their happiness after. Lionel, what do you think?
Yeah, we have all the other ones. Let's do this one. I think it's a great idea.
Oh, yeah, this would be cool. The way it would work is like, basically, as a result of Martin Seligman and other psychologists who are promoting the idea of coaching people to become happier, you know, because generally we have therapists who try to get people with emotional problems healthier, but these happiness coaches basically train people who are just marginally happy to become much, much happier, right? So the idea is that in this show, you would have a happiness coach working with each of those 12 people, right? You know, individually, maybe giving classes, you know, like, let's say every evening there's another class on becoming happier. Mm-hmm. And so he would work with them, you know, he would work with them to just like teach them the principles and the techniques of happiness.
Actually, there shouldn't be a payoff. There should be no monetary payoff in this show.
It's funny because I emailed this idea to a few psychologists, and I knew exactly why you're saying that, because I mean the idea is like, you know, you give the person a lot of money. We know, they know, the psychologists know that it's not going to make them happier, you know, unless they're like way below the poverty line or something. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how much better than taking a person who's mediocre and then leaving after 3 months being really happy and maybe hopefully meeting other people that they could become friends for life with.
All right, no, you got to give more, because the competition's cool also. Because here, so rather than money, I just thought, according to the research, the happiest times in most people's lives are their vacations, right?
Okay.
So as a prize, you give the guy or the woman, you know, 3 months of vacations, you know, or I don't know.
Wow.
Just a lot.
Where do I
vacations.
sign up?
That would be awesome.
It's a great idea. I just mean that the money is slim compensation compared to the value you're going to give people for the rest of their lives. I mean, and the other thing is, not only would the 12 people, you know, it'd be a great competition, because not only are the 3 people competing within themselves, but that competition and what each of them is learning could be a real gift for everybody else watching. I mean, it could be a benefit for every single person watching and on the air.
Oh yeah, that is so cool. Cause like,
True.
Oh yeah, because like, and I mean, there'd be no losers. I mean, the contestants.
I like it.
They'd be getting. Oh yeah.
I like it.
It'd be awesome because yeah, as part of the episodes, they could have the coach going, you know, talking to each of the individuals, and like I guess the coaches would get to know them like somewhat more personally. They'd be living with them, right? So they'd know exactly what is getting in the way of a certain contestant's happiness and hone in on that, and you know, like, and so we the audience could just be watching that and learning along with the contestants.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, there are some things that you and I talked about regard to this where you know, we'd have to talk about, because people as they're listening to this may start saying, what if this, what if that? One of the what ifs is, what if people faked it? Then, you know, what would happen then? How would that affect the whole game?
Okay, yeah, I actually emailed this top happiness increase psychologist recently with the idea, Ken Sheldon, and he emailed me back saying that, yeah, I mean, like, you know, you don't want people like fooling themselves or fooling others about their happiness level, because some of us are naturally better actors than others of us, and they would have an unfair advantage. The answer is, there's two answers to this. One is that if they're fooling themselves, okay, if they're acting happy for themselves, you and I know, and psychologists know, that yes, that'll work. That's great, because, like, you know, happiness is an attitude, okay, and like part of, you know, any attitude is it has a belief component. So if a person can get themselves to believe that they're much happier, that will definitely work. Now, yeah, you'd have to, like, you know, you're going to have an independent panel of judges, and maybe the home audience, maybe like people everywhere watching could be part of the voting. But to address the point you raised, basically they've got a body of evidence that demonstrates that as we become happier, we become physically healthier, emotionally healthier. There's all these different benefits, ancillary benefits, that come from becoming happier. So rather than just measuring them at the end of the show, and before and at the end actually, in terms of their happiness, measure all those other kinds of happiness benefit, you know, correlated aspects of them also, and then that would give you a much clearer picture of how happy they actually are, you know, regardless of how they might appear.
Well, should we take their blood pressure in the beginning?
Yes. Oh, yeah. No, because I'm not sure about
the trend towards a better.
Yeah, I'm not sure about blood pressure specifically, but I know stress. You know, there's a few biological measures that as we become happier, we I think one of them is lower blood pressure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, cool.
So in other words, you know, check their blood, you know, everything medically, and see if they actually don't get healthier as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome, because if it works,
you like that one?
Oh,
right?
yeah, that'd be great. Because I mean, like, you know, the show would be, you know, basically about happiness, right? But it can also be about health. If you have this show being broadcast, you know, throughout the United States, throughout the rest of the world, you know, people could see that, hey, if I want to earn more money, if I want more friends, if I want better physical health, you know, happiness is the way.
Well, now I really love the idea, because I think if we have a focus of happiness, it would show we might learn things we really never expected to learn. I mean, it could be one of those things. I just want to add one thing to the faking it part. Tony Robbins talks about fake it till you make it. He says act as if. So one of the things, if you have a good actor who's really acting happy, and maybe, you know, we know they're not really happy, but they're just acting the part. If they do it for 3 months, what's going to happen is they're going to become that very part. I mean, they may act it in the beginning, but it'll actually transfer on them. I mean, they'll actually feel better, and they'll get to the point where they'll say, you know, to be honest, I was faking it for the first couple of weeks, but then it felt so good that it became second nature to me. And I think it will be one of those things where you act as if you're happy, but then when you become happy, that's just another way of being happy. There's no illegal way to become happy. I mean, any way works.
You're right, Lionel, because actually that's probably one of the things that's going to be happening a lot on the show. Because if you know, part of the judging is based on another person thinking you're very happy, they're all going to be acting very happy all the time.
Wild.
And then you gotta wonder how that's going to reflect itself on the conversation, you know, that they have with each other. But this is something else you got to wonder about. All these like other kinds of like reality competitive TV shows have people competing for a lot of money. Sometimes they're not all that nice to each other. Sometimes in those shows, you know. So you might have people on a show like this gaining their greater happiness at the expense of others, mocking others, putting others down, you know, just conspiring against them and all. We've got there has to be like a judging criteria, part of the overall judging that says that no, you can't do that. If you're you know, you lose points by having your happiness come at the expense of another's.
Now, since it's a reality show, are we going to stage things like you know, the mailman comes in and starts yelling about some postage being overdue or something like that, to see what they can evoke, a response from someone, or see if they could bring their happiness down just as a reality thing?
Lionel, I hadn't thought about it, but that is a great idea. Because like with a lot of these tests, what was the first reality show that came out?
I don't watch them, to be honest with you.
All right, it was on the island or over there, and they had these survival, right? They had these contests, right? That would be perfect. That would be perfect. You have like these things happen.
Or you get a phone call from a bill collector.
Oh yeah, there would be tests.
Or the lights go out,
It'd be awesome. That would be so cool. And because again, we talk about happiness, and generally, it's pretty easy to be happy when things are going well, But that's the real test.
How a reality show.
Oh yeah.
And that's part of reality.
Cool.
Very good.
All right, great.
Well, we don't want to have somebody get bitten by a dog or something like that, right?
No, it's got to be stuff that's like, like you were saying, the lights go out, or the house gets too cold for a day or two or something. I don't know. They get served bad food or something. Food doesn't taste good. I don't know. But that would be cool. Okay. Here's another a feature that this reality show could have. In addition to having the coach perhaps on screen teaching the contestants about happiness, part of the contest might be to have the contestants demonstrate how much they've learned about happiness, how much they've taken in, and how well they're able to express it. So you could have let's say during the first 3 weeks the happiness coach is giving them each class instruction in happiness, let's say every night, right? Then for the next couple of months or so, every night you have one person, one contestant addressing the group on a certain topic of happiness and emotions, happiness and smiling, happiness and thoughts, happiness as a decision, just all these different, and so that could be part of the program that, again, viewers all over the world could be seeing these ordinary people who have not been, classically trained in happiness. They're not psychologists. They catch on to the how amazing happiness is, how easy it is to understand, easy it is to learn, and they're presenting these principles and theories of and techniques of happiness to the rest of the group as a regular feature in the show.
Well, I think it's great. Maybe you can turn it into a reality game show where you come up with some kind of fun games that people could benefit and learn from. I don't know, but something of interest to them, something of interest to viewers, and it would be sort of an experiment. We could all learn something from this show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, here's another. You just gave me another idea. They could generally with a lot of these shows, they're in this house, right, and they stay there. I'm not sure if they're allowed out now.
Right.
With this show, it could be a bit different, because basically they could be let out, let's say in a bar or a restaurant or someplace among people, and they're judged there by how well they can get everyone else in the room to be much happier, and I mean they can do it however they want. They could explain to them, hey, I don't know. You might not want to have them explaining that I'm in this contest, the happier you get, whatever. But just the idea that put them in situations, because happiness is contagious, and the happier we become as individuals, the happier the people around us become. So put them in a bar, put them at a workplace, and see if by what they've learned they can actually, at least for a day or whatever, influence the people around them.
Well, since it's a reality show, and I think the fun part of this is you let them go to a bar, but then let's have the bar get raided. And let's have a few of them get locked up in a police station.
Yeah,
and see how happy they are in the situations that are very trying.
That would be cool.
It would be interesting.
That would be awesome.
Then it would be a real reality show.
That would be cool. That could be one of the contests. Oh yeah, you have them. You make arrangements with a local jail or something. So you have each of them live for a day or two in a cell. Oh yeah,
well,
that would be awesome.
We could really give this a spin.
Oh yeah,
and then maybe we can get some famous celebrities to walk in and then see how people interact with famous people. just as a fun thing to do, you know.
Okay, yeah. Now, you gotta, like, you know, in terms of what the purpose of a show like this would be, I think this is very important, okay? Because, like, you know, generally happiness psychologists, researchers, promoters like ourselves, we're trying to constantly come up with ways to present, you know, happiness, the value of happiness, the strategies and techniques of becoming happier to the wider audience, to America, to the world. And like books have a certain amount of reach. Television shows like ours, I think, sometimes can reach people better. There are documentaries that are coming out. You know, we talked about them recently in an episode. But you know, the value of a show like this is that it could very clearly, for what, 3 months of you know, once a week episodes, present to the country a lot of information about happiness, just this whole concept of happiness in a way that's not just extremely educational, but very entertaining. You know, I mean, think about it. These reality shows, they've got, you know, massive budgets. They've got, you know, a lot of people get hooked on them. They want to see, you know, who's happier the next week. Why are they happier? What's getting the other people down and all that.
Yeah, that's great. We call it "Who's Happy Now?" You know, I don't know, but it's a great idea for anything that promotes happiness, that inspires it, that teaches it, that shows us the benefits, and maybe, you know, really maybe we can learn a lot from a controlled group like this. You know, with some outside influences. You know, coming in and out of this situation.
Lionel, you just reminded me of something. I was just referred to a person who, I won't give the name because I don't know how confidential the project is,
right,
but they're actually working on a project to increase the happiness of a certain town. You know, and I won't even give where the country is, but basically they're going to film a documentary series on this. So yeah, this is something that could, like, you know, be a wonderful experiment that. You get psychologists involved in this, right? They can come up with, like, very refined measurement techniques and methodologies. This can be an actual happiness experiment.
It could be.
Right. You have to consider one thing, though. I was, again, emailing a couple of psychologists about this recently. The idea is that sometimes, like, when you do a psychological experiment, you keep the purpose of the experiment a secret from the subject, because there are these things called, like, experimental artifacts, like the good subject effect, you know, the demand characteristics, where
almost like a placebo effect.
Right. They want to prevent the placebo. They want to prevent a person saying they feel happier in order to please the experimenter. Right. But this is important because, like, in a show like this, obviously that wouldn't be happening. And I just, you know, on my website, thehappinessshow.com, I actually feature an article saying how, like, while that kind of criteria for experiments may be important to psychology and experiments in general, it should not be a part of happiness experiments. I'll tell you why. Because you and I both know that the more a person wants to become happier, the more a person tries to become happier, the much easier it is to become much happier. Okay, so, like, you know, to address the concern of these, like, happiness researchers who would be measuring the people's happiness on the show and you know, making this experiment, another thing that psychologists have demonstrated, this body of research, that as we become happier, we become healthier physically, emotionally, we earn more money, our relationships improve, all these other ancillary benefits we were referring to. So again, we measure those aspects of a person's life in order to be able to conduct the experiment while telling the person exactly what's going on, so that the artifacts, the good subject effect really doesn't have to become a part of this kind of experiment. So it could be really documented.
I was thinking in this, you know, in this experiment, you know, with the TV reality show, that you never know, you might even get one or maybe more than one couple that genuinely, through happiness, find out that they've both become happy and they're both interested in one another, and they end up getting married, for example.
Oh, that would be awesome. Oh,
I mean, not staged, just for real.
That would be cool.
And I mean, how many shows do they do on things like that, where they try to stage that?
Well, that'd be great, because you know what they could do? all right, 6 men, 6 women, right?
Right.
And they all, what's that, eharmony.com or something?
Yes.
It's that internet dating service.
Well, you can try to match them up and then just let the atmosphere go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You 6 couples that are kind of matched through eHarmony, they don't know about it, all right? But that would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
Well, it would also show that, the whole aspect of happiness and interrelationship and marriage and getting along and friendliness. I mean, it would be, like I said, we don't know where this could go.
Lionel, that would be so cool because, like, as we know, like, one of the strongest influences on happiness is marital status.
Right.
That's one of the research findings that's the strongest. That you get into a close relationship, you get married, your happiness soars. So.
Okay. Now the only
No, I'm not sure about soars, but
yeah. But I mean, one of the points I want to make is, and it may not be because you're doing so well with the marriage. It may just be that you have to finally address yourself and get to be more close with yourself so that you can ultimately be with someone else. I mean, and only in a marriage, actually, with another person could you really find out more about yourself. Being alone, you usually don't find out anything about yourself,
That's a good point, because like I'm not sure, I haven't researched the actual reasons why marriage makes a person happier. But yeah, it makes sense that you're learning more about yourself. Usually, I would imagine you're married to your best friend, someone who you love and like very much. But I was thinking something else that could be happening on these shows is that these subjects, these contestants, would be learning about this, that our significant other, our most close relationships are the greatest influence on our happiness for most people. They would be learning this, right? So it'd be interesting to see if, like, some of these people begin to hook up in order to boost their happiness. They kind of like form these like alliances.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think given again, this is a happiness reality show, and it's there may be some stresses built into it just to add some interest, and also to see how people are interacting with one another and everything else. But basically, this happiness show could be a very positive thing, for the most part, and the effects of it could be, who knows what it could be. I think about all these trials that they drag us through, not for weeks, not for even months, but it feels like for years sometimes. We hear about a murder trial, then we see it on TV every day, every morning, every night, read about it, hear about it. I mean, it doesn't end. It's a murder trial, for heaven's sakes. Why do we have to know so much about something like that? Somebody was stupid and they killed somebody. But how about the positive stuff in life? What if we went into it day and night, something positive? Then we could really learn something that could benefit everyone, yet we don't do that.
Lionel, that is so good. That is so good, because like a long time ago I did this show called Happiness in the Perfect World movie, basically advising that there should be these movies where everything goes well.
Absolutely.
But most of us think that movie won't work.
Yeah, they think it's boring.
And there's like this quote-unquote theory in literature that a story has to have conflict in order to be interesting.
Drama.
Right, drama, conflict. Yeah. And so, like, you have this happy house show where, like, every time you tune on, these people are, like, glowing, beaming and stuff, learning and stuff. Every show is really happy, and people can understand that, yes, the media, movies, television doesn't have to be about all that negativity.
I got an idea. What if they can get together and decide certain things and they have budgets for them? They could decide to get together, have a party, and actually invites famous celebrities to it. And it could be a real interesting show.
Oh, yeah.
You get real-life celebrities coming to a reality show, and it's all part of the fact that happiness got you to meet the President of the United States, for example. The President figures, happiness is so important, I'm going to the party I was invited.
Cool.
Wouldn't that be wild?
That sounds good. And also, just in general, yeah, you give them a certain amount of money, right? And that could be a contest. Yeah. How wisely do they spend it, right?
Okay.
So that party would be in a very wise way, especially getting celebrities. Oh, yeah.
Or you could say, well, we're having a party, and anyone who's involved with happiness who would like to come, and maybe the Dalai Lama will show up and send his. I mean, how do we know where this could go? I think it could be interesting. I really do.
Now the key, Yeah, the key is promotion. I mean, we're going to be promoting it through this episode that's going to be aired here and in Fairfield County, and I'll put it up on the website.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we got to think of ways of like just really getting the TV people, because I think this is amazing.
We need
idea.
Robin Williams to host this thing.
He could do it. He could do it. All right.
He'd be great.
So yeah, we will find his email. We'll get in touch with him. All right. So this is an amazing idea. I hope it happens. I hope it happens big. So like again, if anybody's watching this and knows a television producer out there, somebody who really understands, who has contacts, who really knows people in the field, this would be a wonderful opportunity for a totally perfect show. All right. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for watching. In the future, we'll explore other topics designed to help us better enjoy life. This is George Ortega and Lionel Ketchin saying be good, think well, feel very happy, and I hope you'll join us next time here on The Happiness Show.
Happiness is powerful. It's our underlying need. Happiness is why we live each day. Happiness is destiny. So let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy. Yeah, let's be so very happy.